The first thing we're going to start with is a great warm-up. Get your heart rate up, get your body moving, get you feeling good, get you ready to go when it comes to the workout so you can go full intensity and get the best result possible out of what you're putting in. Let's go. For all these exercises, I like to do it over about a 10-yard distance. Doesn't have to be perfect, but right about there is exactly what you need to get your body right going through all these exercises here. Typically, I go 10 yards one way, switch to the next exercise, come back. It keeps it nice and efficient, keeps it moving very quickly, gets you through the warm-up and ready to go as soon as possible. So first thing I always like to start with is the knee hugs. It engages a little bit of your balance as well as stretching out your hip flexors. So you're hugging your knee as high as you can towards your chest. Keep your back nice and straight. Try not to lean forward. Get that good hold for about 2 to 3 seconds there at the top. Next warm-up exercise, we'll go into single leg RDL. So you're going to step forward. Doesn't matter which foot you start with, but you're going to plant that foot on the ground. Slight bend in your knee. You don't want it completely straight. Slight bend. And you're going to reach down, try and touch your toe with your opposite hand. So my right foot's on the ground, touch it with my opposite hand. And just like a pendulum, my back leg is going to come up as my arm comes down. This works on your balance there. It also stretches your hamstrings there in the back of your leg. I typically like to keep my hand at my chest just to make sure my chest is even and I'm not reaching to one side. That's up to you. That's more of a comfort thing if you like doing that or if you'd rather focus on the regular movement. Next thing we're going to get to is the slow side shuffle. So just like a lot of you have done, you start in that athletic stance there. Toes, knees, and hips should be all in a line. Legs should be about a 45-degree angle here from the knees to the hips. Stay nice and low. First time through, we're going to do it nice and slow. It's going to be about a 1-inch step each time to the side. So take it nice and easy. Make sure every time that toe, knee, and hip is in line. You go for about 10 yards and then same thing on the way back. Try and keep it nice and tight, about 1-inch steps every time. So everything's nice and in line. Big mistake is people overreaching there or bringing their back leg too far in to this unbalanced position. So keep your feet about hip width the entire time. So from there, we'll go into full speed shuffle. So you're down in that exact same position, toes, knees, hips in line, feet about shoulder width apart, back's nice and straight, legs are about a 45-degree angle from your knees to your hips, and you're going to go full speed this time, sliding to the side. So next we're going to do the hip step overs. I always like starting backwards, but it doesn't really matter whether you start forwards or backwards. But you're going to face your chest forward, and I always keep my hands in front of me to stay nice and straight so that I know when I'm turning that's not where I want to be. I want to keep my chest nice and straight, and my leg is moving in a C motion, up, around, and down. Pretend there's a cone or some other object right there that you're stepping over. So you loosen up the hips on one side, and then same thing on the other. This is one that I typically only go about 5 yards one way, 5 yards the other. So normally, I just flip around and continue just for the camera's sake. I'll go forward from here. So it's the same thing, except it goes back to front with that step. Really focus on keeping those arms straight ahead of you, loosening up those hips. Next one we're hitting is leg swings or zombie walks. One arm's going to go out. You're kicking the opposite leg as high as you can. We'll go to a side-to-side groin stretch. So you're going to take a big stride to one side, stretching the inner leg there. Get a good stretch one way, then the other. Then you're going to rotate it just like that. side to side, and rotate every single time. We're going to move on to the A skip. It's your typical skip, but you're going to keep it nice and quick, very quick contact with the ground. So drive up, just quick touch. From there, we're going to quick hops to jog. So when you're doing the quick hops, you're staying in place, moving a tiny bit forward, but not very much at all. You'll do that for a countdown. You can just do it in your head for about 4 to 5 seconds, and then burst out into a jog. You're going to do it facing forward, then facing to each side, and then backwards. And last exercise as we get warmed up here is going to be your scissor jumps, heel to toe scissor jumps into a jog. Very similar to what we just did, but you're going to start heel to toe and you're switching back and forth, same thing, 4 to 5 seconds, and then burst out into a jog. Just like the other one, you do forward, side, side, and backwards.